Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Summa's second webinar. We have a lot of new things to show you and to tell you. But first, here's my colleague Olivier, because I'd like to introduce him. He is behind the scenes directing all the cameras, and also in the end he's going to be the voice that you'll hear for the questions. Olivier.
Thank you, Randy. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to see us. It's already our second webinar, so we're very excited to show you a lot of new features today. The focus will be on textile, and like Randy said, I will be behind the screens, operating the camera, and maybe asking some questions. So, Randy, I'll leave it to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Olivier. Well, similar to the previous webinar, use the chat of YouTube to, let's say, ask any questions you like to ask about the application that we're showing today. Olivier will monitor the questions, and at the end of the webinar, we'll have a Q&A session where we're going to answer a couple of your questions. If we don't answer the question during the webinar, we'll definitely email you with the answers, give you an email, sorry, with the answers, and we will post this on a blog post as well. So, on to the webinar. Well, previously we started out with our concept store, and the first thing we did was actually doing some, let's say, rigid materials. So we used Dibond and PVC to create our coat hangers here. Today we want to go into the textile side of our application, of our concept store. If you look around me, these walls are not solid walls. These are actually textile walls. So these are textiles put into a frame. Now, if we talk about textiles, we need to look at the different industries. We start out with soft signage, which this is part of, but we also have a lot of other industries in terms of textiles, like upholstery, like awning, those kinds of industries. Those are more industrial-based industries, while soft signage is more closer to home. We're at least in the sign and display market. If you look closely to this textile here, let me get on my knees for you. This is actually a polyester where we have a silicone edge sewn into the side. If you can see this closely. By doing this, you can easily put this into a frame. Most of you will know this, but let's say make a nice finished wall as well. So polyester. Now, similar to the last webinar, we don't want to just have it printed by somebody. We want to, let's say, create a workflow similar to the previous one. Now, on the previous webinar, we showed SAI together with Muto, specifically for printing PVC and Dibond, which we cut during the webinar itself. Now, in this webinar, we want to go to another combination. We have chosen Caldera to do this. Caldera has courteously provided us the information and also a short video on how to set up the workflow. The printing itself is not done by a, let's say, a manufacturing partner. It is done by a local partner. This local partner is also a member of VESPA Belgium. Now, the local partner has provided us with the print work and the print technology as well. We'll briefly look at what he has as a setup and how this process works, because these kinds of textiles are not printed with a solvent printer, but with a dye sublimation printer. So before we go to the printing side, let's first look at the software.